Hello, grade 1 students. How are you today? Welcome to today's class. Today we are treating light and heavy weight. Okay. So from last week's lesson, we did something about capacity, and we are doing a follow-up lesson today on capacity, which is a different side of capacity, about light and heavy. So when we say light, it means that something that is very easy to carry or something that is very easy to lift, okay? And then when we say heavy, it means something that is bulky, something that is big, something that is very difficult to also lift up or to carry. That is the difference between light and heavy, okay? So you should always remember that when we say light, or something that is having a light weight, it means that that particular object is easy to lift or easy to carry. The same way heavy, it is difficult to carry or difficult to lift from the ground. Okay, so before you can know that an object is light or heavy, you need a scale to determine the level of weight that you are dealing with. So this is an example of a scale that will help you to know the difference between two objects, whether they are of the same weight or they are of different weights. So if you look at this drawing, the object here is the same weight as the object that you find also here. So you see they have the same level, so which means this is a balanced scale. It means that this level is the same as this level. That means they have the same weight on the scale over here. So it's called balance. Okay, so the scale is balanced. In a situation whereby you have one side of your scale having a bigger or a heavy object and the other side is having a light object, this is the nature of the scale that you're going to have. The side of your scale that is having the object that is heavy will bend down, and the one that is not heavy, which is the lighter, will go up. It's just like sitting on a seashore, and then the one, your partner is heavier than you, your partner goes down and then you go up. So the same way, this side is heavier than this side. So this side becomes lighter and this side becomes also heavier. So what are some of the objects that we can compare? So in our class we can compare our book to other objects. So on this table we are comparing some objects with our book in a class. So we take a book as an example and we look at objects lighter than book. So what are some of the objects that we have in our class or we have around us that is very easy to carry, and if you compare their weight to that of a book is heavier, so those items becomes lighter. There are other objects that you can also think about that are heavier than a book. Okay, so let's look at the items that we have on our board here. We have a sharpener, which is an object that is lighter than a book. So it means when you take a sharpener and you take a book is more heavier than our sharpener. So the sharpener is lighter. When you take a pen is very small to carry around. Unlike a book becomes bulky. So pen is also lighter than a book. Okay? Pen is lighter than a book. Let's look at our third object, which is an eraser. So an eraser is also very small, very easy to carry. So an eraser is also lighter than a book. Okay? An eraser is lighter than book. Here we have three objects which are heavier, which are difficult to carry, which are difficult to lift as compared to a book. So if you look at our computer is very heavy to carry from one place to another as compared to a book. So a computer becomes object heavier than book. Okay? Computer is heavy difficult to carry. So it is heavier than book. The chair that we sit on is also heavier than book. So we say a chair is one item that is also heavier than book. Now let's look at the third one. The third one is a table. So if you look at the tables that we have around, they are heavy, difficult to carry. So once it is heavy and difficult to carry as compared to a book, it means we say that this object or this table is heavier than book. Okay? So you can do this comparison around your environment. Comparing, let's say, a bicycle and a car. A car becomes heavier than a bicycle. Okay? The same way, motor becomes heavier than a bicycle. So you can do this comparison in your house. Let's say you compare a television to that of a refrigerator. A refrigerator is heavier than a television. So these are the two differences that we have when we talk about light and heavy. I hope you understand this. Very good. Okay, so in our textbook at page 19 of the skills builder section, we have a table there which is very similar to what we are going through. So I want you to complete the table in your textbook at page 19 at the skills builder section, and then you send for checking. Okay? Make sure your drawings are very nice and clean so that you get more points. Thank you. I hope to see you in our second video. Goodbye. Students, welcome back to our second video on our lesson light or weight. Okay? So our lesson has been how we can check if an object is light. Light means easy to carry. Heavy means difficult to carry. Okay? So that is it. And our scale shows that light will go up and then heavy or heavier will drop the scale. So this is a true picture of showing two objects, whilst one is light and the other one is heavy. Okay? So that is how you can determine your object. Sometimes you look at the size, sometimes you look at carrying it. Then you know that this is light, this is heavy. Okay? Very good. So we now move to our second activity for this lesson, which is task 2. And what are we going to do at task 2? Task 2, what we're going to do is that we're going to choose the word heavier or lighter to complete a statement. Okay? So we have a statement that shows other pictures as well. So you use heavier or lighter to complete the statement. Example, we have the baby is black than the pizza. Okay? So the two words are heavier or lighter. And the statement is the baby is black than the pizza. So what do you think is the correct word that we can put here so that our statement will be complete? Is it heavier or lighter? Heavier or lighter? Okay, let's see. What are we comparing? We are comparing a baby to a pizza. So what do you think? A baby and a pizza, who is more heavier or who is more lighter? Okay, I think the baby is heavier. So the baby is heavier than the pizza. So the correct word becomes heavier. Okay? So we put heavier there to complete our statement. So the baby is heavier than the pizza. Right? So that becomes our correct answer. So you do the same for the other activities that I'm going to send to you on task 2, and then you send for me to check for you. Thank you for joining this section. I'll see you on our third video. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to the third part of our session today. Our lesson has been light and heavy. We looked at how we can determine if one object is lighter than the other and the other is heavier than the other. So the best tool that we can use to determine that is the scale. Sometimes we can use our bare eyes to determine that this is heavier or lighter. but yeah, to be more accurate, we need a scale to find out which one is lighter and which one is heavier. If our scale is having the same level, it means that the objects on two sides are balanced, which means they have the same weight. Okay, we compared certain objects that are lighter than book and certain objects that are heavier than book. Over here, we also looked at how a scale can be disbalanced. When you say disbalanced, it means that it is not balanced. It means we have the lighter section and then we have the heavier part. So the lighter section goes up and the heavier object will draw the scale down. So this, where the scale is drawn down is where we have the heavier one, and where it is up is where we have the lighter one. There are so many objects that we can compare to know which one is lighter and which one is heavier. Okay. So to conclude our lesson today, we will have our homework activity that will help you to also do more studies on your lights and heavy. Okay. So this is what we're going to do for your homework. With your homework, you're going to have a task that comes with pictures. A picture that is showing a scale. Okay, so you look at the picture and the objects on the scale, and then you choose heavier or lighter to complete the statement. Okay, so don't just think about the names of the objects. Look at the picture on the scale, the objects on the scale, and then look at the level of the scale if one side has dropped and the other side has gone up. So that will help you to determine which one is heavier and then which one is lighter. Okay, so check it from your scale and choose heavier or lighter to complete your statement. Thank you for joining class today, and I hope that you stay at home and you will be safe, and we will meet again next week. Goodbye.